Today I wanted to do a quick review of an app I found in the App Store called NovoPsych. Now, as a psychologist, I administer psychometric tests to my clients regularly. For example, if I'm treating someone for depression, I'll administer the Beck Depression Inventory at the start of treatment and then again at the end of treatment, just so I can get a bit of an objective measure of how their treatment has gone. It's also really useful to feed that back to clients. Now, what this app allows us to do is administer these tests via the iPad. And I've got to say, I've been using it for a while now, and it makes things really easy. Here's the list of assessments that we've got. Some of these assessments I was already aware of, and in fact already used them. Some of them I wasn't aware of though. So we've got tests here for screening questionnaires for Asperger's, we've got depression tests, panic disorder tests, we've got self-esteem tests, and yeah, lots of different tests for whatever purpose you're looking for. Down the bottom here we've got 4 tabs. We've got the Home tab, which is where you spend a lot of time because you've got your recent test results, and also the Clients tabs. You can actually add new clients, and you've also got the Assessments and Account. So here we've got a list of all the tests available. So let's choose the Rosenberg Self-Esteem Scale. Now this scale's been around, I think, since 1965. Yep, we've got the it noted there. And we've also got a whole bunch of data for validity and reliability. One of the great things about NovoPsych is that they're actually only including tests that are going to be useful for psychologists. And we know the bread and butter of psychometric testing is validity and reliability. And so it really gives us all the data we need to know about that. Also, we've got a description. So with the Rosenberg Self-Esteem Scale, it's actually broken self-esteem down into 2 factors, self-confidence and self-liking. So why don't we go ahead and I'll show you how to administer a test to a client. So we'll choose the client. Let's do it to JJ. So now you'd actually pick up the iPad and you'd actually give it to the patient, maybe in the therapy room or maybe in the waiting room. And you say, you know, I want to get a bit of a feeling about how your self-esteem is, and this questionnaire can help me objectively measure that. Would you mind filling it out? Then all they do is do start assessment. And here we see the 10 questions, the same as paper and pencil version of the test. And the question 1 says, on the whole, I am satisfied with myself. So let's press agree for that. And we'll go down and I'll press disagree for all of these. So this is what the client would do. And then when they're done, all they do is press submit assessment. They're then prompted to give the iPad back to their administrator. So in the therapy room, they'll simply hand it back to me, or in the waiting room, they might give it to the secretary. Now this is where I press exit test mode, and then I'll put in my code. My code at the moment is 1234, and this code's really great because it allows you to protect all the other data in NovoPsych. So the patient is locked into test mode. They can only see the tests that you've given them. And here we go back to the home page, and we can see that JJ has completed the Rosenberg Self-Esteem Scale. So I'll click on that, and here we've got a PDF of the results. Now this is really excellent. Now it gives us some details up here, who it was and their date of birth and age. And we've also got the time taken, and you can see that it only took me 23 seconds to take this test. And obviously if a client only took 23 seconds, it would probably mean that they didn't really read the questions. Now here is what I really like. This is the results section. So what this app does is it automatically calculates the results. We've got total self-esteem scale, and then we've also got the percentile rank. What I find is that raw scores aren't that helpful. You know, it doesn't mean anything for me if someone scores 16 or they score 20. What I want to know is, what is that score like in comparison to their peers? And what NovoPsych allows us to do is quickly, at a glance, get a bit of a feel for what their percentile rank is. So we know that this person, for example, 12.7th percentile. So they've actually got a really low self-esteem compared to their peers. We can see it for the other subscales as well. So NovoPsych automatically calculates not only the total score, but also subscales, which is just absolutely fantastic. And if we scroll down, we can then see the raw scores. And now we can exit. Now this PDF's been automatically emailed to my email address when you administer a test, which is great, because it means I can then print it off and put it in the physical file. I highly recommend NovoPsych. I think that it's really going to change the way that psychometric tests are administered by psychologists. I think that psychologists don't administer psychometric tests enough, and what I really loved about this is that it actually opened my eyes to some other tests that I wasn't actually really aware of. So I thought that was excellent. So, if you get a chance and you've got an iPad, I highly recommend that you download NovoPsych to complement your practice. Thank you.